When most people think of gold mining in the 19th century, the historic gold rush that brought thousands of people out west tends to come to mind. I'm standing in the town of Liberty in Kittitas County, which is part 2 of my Ghost Towns of the Northwest series. Liberty was founded a few years after the gold was discovered in the hills of Northern California and was the heart of the state of Washington's gold mining.
We're still a living ghost town. We've still tried to maintain that spirit, and for the most part, we have. And that's what makes the place different when you walk into it, is that feeling of spirit.
Wes Engstrom is one of only 9 people who live in the historic living ghost town of Liberty. A ghost town that isn't completely abandoned and that still has the spirit of those who lived there and mined for gold in the latter part of the 19th century.
We've tried to purposely create that idea that even if you don't have an old ghost town with abandoned buildings and everything, you have the ghosts that are the spirit of the old miner. And if there was one thing the old miner had as far as a spirit, it was independence, liberty.
In 1970, Wes was working as an engineer for Boeing and living in Edmonds when a weekend trip to Liberty helped spark his interest in not only gold mining, but also the community and its history as well.
We did end up by Angel Falls in Venezuela, and Angel Falls is the highest waterfall in the world. And we did kind of find a few diamonds, but realized that I didn't know how to prospect for diamonds or gold because of rock hound. And so I came over to Liberty here on the weekend just to learn how to prospect for gold. And with the intent of going back to Venezuela after I figured out a better way of finding those diamonds. But that never happened because one day coming through town, there was a for sale sign on the Mamie Caldwell's house down below. And it was pretty cheap, and so we figured, well, it'd be better to buy that and camp out here than haul our stuff back and forth every weekend.
Liberty is located in the heart of Kittitas County, just north of Cle Elum. It was founded in 1873 after gold was discovered in nearby Swat Creek, which sparked a small gold rush here in the Evergreen State.
Where we are now is not where Liberty started. Where we are now is a community that was started by Thomas Meagher when he discovered gold here. The gold was first discovered on the Swat.
And just like Liberty itself, the gold that these miners were seeking in Swat Creek was unique, especially when compared to the large rock-like nuggets that were found in Northern California.
The gold out in central Washington in the Liberty area is unique, actually, in that it's a substance called crystalline wire gold. And what I mean by that is that unlike what our normal images of gold mining is, which is, someone goes out to a stream and they begin panning or sluicing, in Liberty you could literally just pluck this gold off and off the rocks and find it that way.
In the past 6 decades, there were 2 events that almost wiped Liberty off the map forever. The first event happened in the 1960s, and it was an attempt by a mining company to evict the remaining residents so it could mine on the site where the town stands today. Residents resisted through legal action, and the state Supreme Court settled in their favor. And the second incident was an attempt by the U.S. Forest Service in the 1970s to evict residents as, quote, squatters on federal land. Wes, along with other residents, resisted this attempt to remove them from their homes and got involved in what would eventually be a victorious effort involving the U.S. Congress to save Liberty and declare it a historic district.
The Forest Service had been evicting all of the residents here, saying that they did not own their land and were squatting on national forest land. And that in turn led to this 10-year battle to get clear title for the property, which I got involved in, and it took up all my time.
Today, Liberty has been all but rebuilt from what it was over a century ago.
The buildings and things that were here in most people's value system wouldn't be worth saving. And so in that sense, They don't usually get restored, they get replaced.
But gold or no gold, ghost town or small residential community, it's no coincidence that Liberty has lived up to the spirit of its name.
So then the story is that the miners themselves came up with this name Liberty, because you're at liberty here. You can sit down on this floor or you can do whatever you want in this building. You're at liberty here. And so that's the name that stuck.
If you're interested in visiting Liberty, it's easy to get to, located just north of Cle Elum in Kittitas County and about a 2-hour drive from Seattle. Next week, I'll take you to the Pierce County ghost town of Melmont, a former coal mine located near Mount Rainier. That'll do it for this edition of Northwest Now Digital First. Reporting from the town of Liberty in Kittitas County, I'm Chris Anderson.